Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to gather and begin using the software that we are going to use for this class. As I have told you previously, this is free and open source, so this won't cost you anything, but you should be aware that this is safe software to use. The software we're using has been developed primarily by academics around the world and is probably one of the more powerful tools for statistical analysis. And it's not too difficult to use, at least the way that we're going to use this. So if you've used R or RStudio before, this is going to be a little bit different because we're going to use the cloud-based version of it, which has recently become sort of publicly available. So I've got my browser open here. It doesn't matter what kind of computer you're using. You can even do this on an iPad if you'd like. But I'm going to open a new window and I'm going to type in RStudio Cloud. And this is going to be the window through which we do all our work. So the first thing you're going to do is go to rstudio.cloud, and you'll need to sign up for an account and sign up for the free account. And you'll notice here that it tells us that you can use up to 1 CPU per project. That's the computing power. And you get 15 project hours per month for free. And we're going to reduce our computing powers to give you a little bit more project time in case you need it. I don't think you will, but I think you'll be able to just as easily work with a little bit less power because the data sets that we're going to use are going to be small. So to go through this whole sign up process, you can just sign up with Google. I've already done that, so I'm not going to go through that process, but you can use your Montclair account, and then what you'll need to do is log in. So I'm going to use my Montclair account because that's what I have my account set to. And I have a project that I'm working on because I'm working on a new edition of the textbook for this class. So I'm going to start a new project, and you should as well. So just click on New Project. And as this is deploying, you're going to see this shows your workspace, and you could have multiple projects. And as soon as this is set up, we'll be able to change the name of this project, and we'll be able to allocate our resources, and I'll give you a little bit of a tour. And if you've used RStudio before, there are a few small differences, but I think that'll be helpful. Now, this is going to look small to you for the purposes, you don't have to do this, but for the purposes of viewing, I'm going to make things larger. So if you want to make it larger, let me just show you how to do that. You go to Tools and go to Global Options, and then I'm going to go to Appearance, and I'm going to change my font size to 14. That will look bigger for you to see. And now it should look bigger, and hopefully you can see this well. So I'm going to, just to change the name of the project, you just click in here. And like this is similar to a Google Doc in that you don't have to save everything. Some of this saves automatically. So I'm going to call this Social Work 601 because we'll do all our work for this class in here. And when I hit enter, now this is the name of my project. And I explained to you that I think we want to reduce the number of resources that we're using simply because we won't need that much power and it'll give you more time to work. So if you use this little cog here, it will save resources. And if you click on it, you can see that there's 1 CPU allocated for this project. Let's just reduce it to half. And you won't get twice as much computing time, but you get an additional 25%. So I'm going to just go Apply Changes, and you probably will not notice anything throughout the course of this semester, but we'll give you more time. So now it's going to redeploy our project. And for those of you that have used RStudio before, some of this will be a bit of a refresher. This looks a lot like RStudio, but the benefits to using this are that you don't have to update RStudio and you don't have to update R, which is the software that's running behind this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour here, and then we're going to just open a file. And for your homework, I'll tell you what I want you to do in just a moment. But here, this tells us that we're the version of R that we're running. And the beauty of R is that it's open source, free statistical software. It's very powerful. And this version is called Taking Off Again. Each version gets some kind of weird name, but you can see it was launched in June of 2020. So this may change during the course of the semester. Now, each of these little squares here are called panes, and you can do all kinds of rearranging, but I don't tend to do that, so I won't show you how to do that. But this is called the console because it says console right here, and you can type in all kinds of commands in the console that I'll show you in just a moment. So this is called a pane, and it's on your left side of the window. And the pane that's up here, we're going to primarily use this environment pane. And this shows you any sort of files that are open in the environment. And we don't have anything in it, so it tells us that the environment is empty. And you can open data this way. But we're not going to do that. Now, in the past, you may have been made aware that you can download thousands, like something around 20,000 user-developed packages for R and RStudio for no cost at all, and they're quite good and they're quite powerful. But in this class, we're going to only use one package. And I'm going to show you how to load this package now. And then show you what you need to do each time you're in class. So the first thing we want to do is in this lower right pane, right now we show the folders and what's in our project, but there is a plots pane here that's going to be empty because we don't have any sort of graphs in here. But what we want to navigate to is this packages pane. And in here, let's see if I can make this a little larger for you. I can. We want to download the one package that we're going to use for this class, and that is called SSD for R. So we're going to go install here, and you want to make sure this says, the repository says CRAN, RSPM, and we're going to start typing in SSD for R, and here it is. And you want to make sure this install dependencies box is clicked, and then we're just going to click install, and you're going to get hopefully a bunch of stuff installing. Not sure why that's not doing that. Maybe it's retrieving the package, so it's just taking a little bit of time. Yeah. And it said it's installing it, and you know it's not done because we have the little stop sign up here. So it's just going to take a little bit of time. It might be that not allocating that many resources is just, you probably won't notice it when you're actually, we only have to do this once, but once you're running this, it should go pretty fast. So it's installing the package here. It's still not done. We don't have a cursor yet. This is the cursor. Our stop sign is not done. So it's still doing its thing. And once we do that, we will be able to use all the functions in SSD for R. And you can see what this is doing is not just loading that package, but a lot of other packages that are in the comprehensive R archive network. That's what CRAN stood for, that we may need in order to do our computation. So it's going to take a while, and then it's going to say the download source packages are located someplace. You don't have to pay any attention to that. But now if you scroll through the packages list, you'll see SSD for R. And here's something you need to know. every time you need to use the software for class, all you have to do, you only download it once, is just click the button here, and you'll see it checked, and then you'll be able to use the functions. And it's just telling you that it's loading other packages. So now we have SSD for R available to us. And then the next thing we want to do is just open up a file. So we're going to go to the Files tab here. And the first thing we're going to need to do is to upload a file. And I'm going to put the Jenny file in the files for this class, and so they'll be available to you. And then we have to just upload it here to put it into here. So I'm going to browse. Now, I stored the Jenny folder elsewhere. So I have to navigate to that. You might just put it on your desktop, or you can even just keep it in your downloads. And once you do that, you see the file to upload here. And then I'm going to go upload. And now this file describing this hypothetical client, Jenny, is always in here. You won't, once you leave the workspace and you come back in, it's still here. So now we want to, what we've done so far is we've loaded SSD for R, the software we're going to use. We have uploaded Jenny. Now these two things we're not going to have to do again. You'll just have to make sure that the SSD for R box is clicked, but we will each time need to open the file. And the function for doing that in SSD for R is called get CSV. And that means we're just going to get a CSV file. So we're just going to type in the console, get CSV, and you'll see that RStudio will finish that command. It's got predictive typing in there. So I'm going to click enter, and it's asking me which one of these files I want to use. So I'm going to click on Jenny and click open. And now I get some information here. It's going to say type attach SSD in the console and press enter to begin working. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to type attach SSD and click enter. And you're going to see if you get nothing back when you click enter, it's good. And now you'll see that you have in your global environment here, it says we have 16 observations of 7 variables. And if you click the spreadsheet icon, the console is going to drop down and you'll see what that means. And I will show that to you. So we're going to go into more detail with what this means. Here we have 7 variables. One's called yell, one's called PL, we have cry, pcry, call out, pcall out, and notes. But now we can begin working with this data, and we will begin with that next time. So I hope you watch this video several times, and you should, at the end of this lesson, be able to do just what we have done here. Before you end your session, you're just going to detach SSD, and we are going to click return. And now we can just leave our workspace if we want to. If I just click here, your workspace, it will just list what we have and we don't have to do anything else. So I hope you found this lesson helpful.